Alright, so in this video we're going to solve some simple quadratics specifically using what's called the zero product property. So as a reminder, the zero product property says that if A times B equals 0, meaning if two things are multiplied together and their product is 0, then either A equals 0 or B equals 0. So, because anything times 0 is 0. Okay, so this is the property that we are going to use to solve these problems. So, question number 6 involves the zero product property. So, Annie wants to solve the equation shown by using factoring. So, solving an equation means that you have a value for x that makes the equation true. So, which could be a step or steps in her solution. Okay, so if we're going to solve this using factoring, we're going to start with x squared plus 5x minus 24. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to factor this into two products. So really quickly, I'll do the box method. First term, first box. Last term, last box. Then a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 24, goes in the t-chart. I write down all the factors of 24. And I need the two things that combine to give me a positive 5. So 1 and 24 can't make 5. 3 and 8 can if 8 is positive and 3 is negative, because 8 minus 3 is 5. So negative 3x, positive 8x. Factor out here an x. Factor out here a negative. They're both divisible by 3. Factor out here an x. Factor out here, they're both divisible by 2. 8 is also divisible by 4, so is 24. 8 is also divisible by 8, and 24 is divisible by 8. So I'm going to factor out an 8. Okay, so this factors into x minus 3 times x plus 8 equals 0. Now, what we're going to do is if we wanted to solve for x, we would use the zero product property. So the zero product property says that if a times b equals 0, then either a equals 0 or b equals 0. Now granted, a is x minus 3 and b is x plus 8. And if you notice, x plus 8 equals 0 or x minus 3 equals 0 is right here. So we actually didn't need to solve this one. We were just starting to solve it. The next one, however, we are going to solve. What are the solutions to the quadratic equation? So solutions meaning values of x that make this equation true. So the way that I'm going to solve this is I'm going to first factor this into two binomials so that I could set each of those binomials equal to 0 and solve for x. So first term, first box. Last term, last box. A times c goes in the t-chart. Factors of 27. The two numbers that combine to give me a positive 12 would be 3 and 9. If it's a positive 3 and a positive 9. So 3 plus 9 is 12. Okay. Factor out a GCF. These are both divisible by x. These are both divisible by 3. These are both divisible by x. These are both divisible by 9 is divisible by 3, so is 27. 9 is also divisible by 9, and 27 is 2. So x plus 3 times x plus 9. So now I see that something times something is 0. So either this something equals 0 or this something equals 0. I'm going to go ahead and solve this equation. So x plus 3 equals 0. So I'll subtract 3 on both sides. X equals a negative 3. Here I'm going to go ahead and subtract 9 on both sides. X equals a negative 9. So x equals a negative 3, which is here and here, or x equals a negative 9, which is here. The correct answer is D. Let's do the next one. Which of the following could be a solution to the quadratic equation x squared minus x equals 20? And so right off the bat, what I see here is that this problem is different than the last where it's not set equal to 0. In order to use the zero product property, we have to have things set equal to 0. This is currently not, but I can make it equal to 0. If I subtract 20 on both sides, here I'll have x squared minus x minus 20, right? And on this side, 20 minus 20 is 0. So all I had to do was subtract 20 so that it's set equal to 0. Now I need to factor this. So I need to factor this real quick. So first term, first box. Last term, last box. A, which is 1, times C, which is 20, goes in the T-chart. Write down all the factors of 20. I'm looking for two things that combine to give me a negative 1. 1 plus 20 is 21. 20 minus 1 is 19. 2 plus 10 is 12. 10 minus 2 is 8. 4 plus 5 is 9. 5 minus 4 is 1. This is a negative 1, so I need the 5 to be negative and the 4 to be positive. Positive 4x, negative 5x. Factor out an x, factor out a 4, factor out an x, factor out a negative 5. So this is x plus 4 times the quantity x minus 5. So now I need to set each of these equal to 0, because a times b equals 0, then either a equals 0 or b equals 0. I'll subtract 4 on both sides. X equals a negative 4. I'll add 5 on both sides. X equals a positive 5. So which could be a solution? Negative 4, not an option, or 5. So 5 could be a solution. And just to double check, 5 squared minus 5 equals 20. 5 squared is 25. And 5 minus 25 is 20. We have one more problem to go. So number 9 was probably difficult. The value of x squared is added to x, and the sum is 12. What are the possible values for x? So what you have to learn how to do here is you need to write an equation. So the value of x squared is added to x, and the sum is 12. So if this was set equal to 0, then I could solve it using the zero product property. So I will subtract 12 on both sides. X squared plus x minus 12 equals 0. I would factor this. Two numbers, and I'm going to skip using the box method for time's sake. Two numbers that multiply together get 12. that combine to give me a positive 1 are 3 and 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and then 4 minus 3 is a positive 1. So either x minus 3 equals 0 or x plus 4 equals 0. I will subtract 4. So my answer is x equals 3 or x equals a negative 4. So the correct answer is